Good evening, everyone. Before I start, someone who has called in needs to mute their telephone because we're getting background. All right, thank you. So, good evening, everyone. This is the December 9th, 2020 meeting of the Urban Conservation Commission. My name is Michael Garland, and I'm chairman of the commission. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. So members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Tom Fallon.
Here.
Michelle Colross. Michelle. Patrick Cunningham. Patrick Cunningham.
Here.
Allison Holmes.
Here.
Nathan Rand.
I'm here. You're very choppy though, Mike.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have much control over the telephone. Tony Romney. And then I'm going to go back, Michelle Colross. All right. We also have town officials who are participating. When I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Building Commissioner Caleb Moody.
Here.
Town Planner Adam Menard.
Here.
All right. Good evening, everyone. This open meeting of the Town of Auburn Conservation Commission is now called to order at approximately, we'll call it 7:05 p.m. This meeting is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, due to the ongoing state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely, and we are meeting in the planning room this evening. The order, which you can find posted on the agenda, you can find posted with materials for this meeting on the town's website, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. So for this meeting, we are convening by remote participation for the public only, although some staff are physically located in the planning board meeting in the town hall. Those town employees are practicing social distancing in accordance with the governor's orders. For the public to join the meeting remotely by telephone, call 1-408-650-3123 and enter access code 942-845-549. Or the public can join via computer at gotomeeting.com/join/942-845-549. The remote access information has been posted on the town's website identifying how the public may join. And this meeting is being recorded by Auburn Cable Television. So accordingly, from those members of the Conservation Commission, employees, and members of the public who participate, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you, and please take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. All supporting materials have been provided to members of this body and are available on the town's website. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda. Now, with regards, before we turn to the first item on the agenda, let me go over some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. So I will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, I will go down the line of members, more or less, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called or after you respond. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate meeting minutes. And for any response, please wait until I, as chair, yield the floor to you and state your name before speaking. And if members wish to engage in discussion with other members, please do so through me as chair, taking care to identify yourself. Members have spoken. I will afford public comment as follows. I will first ask members of the public who wish to speak to identify their names and addresses only, and once I have a list of public commentators, if any, I will call on each by name and afford 3 minutes for any comments. And then finally, and as has been our practice, we'll take a vote. There's only one public agenda item tonight, but I will take a roll call vote. And if technical difficulties arise, and hopefully they won't, I will suspend the meeting until we resolve any problems. Having said that, the first item on tonight's agenda is the hold on one second.
Mike, I don't mean to interrupt you. This is Allison. We're having a bit of technical problems with the audio. It's very hard to understand you.
Well, Allison, there's not much I can do on my end. Are you sure it's not on your end?
Suggest they call in from their phone if the audio's bad.
Maybe you should call in from your phone if the audio is not good.
This is
I'm
There
sorry.
are others that are having the same issue.
Yeah, this is Pat. I can confirm that your audio is difficult.
Please hold.
I'm having the same issue.
On a landline, I don't know how to correct that.
What I suggest is that we are not in this Board of Selectmen's room or in the planning board room. I will do my best. I will speak slowly, and I will do my best so that we can understand each other. Okay? The first item on tonight's agenda is a 7 p.m. public hearing, the Auburn Water District, a notice of intent to construct a replacement well, utility connections, and associated site work at 74 Walsh Avenue. And this is continued from November 18th of 2020. Is there a motion to open?
Make a motion to open?
Is there a second?
I second it's Pat.
Thank you, Pat. Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All right, it's a vote. Mr. Smith, are you on?
Yes, Scott Moore and Echo Check.
All right.
Ken Smith are both on,
All right.
Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. So, instead of both of you talking at the same time, please decide who wants to speak and go first.
Okay. Just for the record, Scott Morris from Microtech. We had filed a notice of intent. We had gone through the kind of the project elements, discussed the well project at the last meeting. It was my understanding that based upon the commission, simply wanted to go out and take a look at the site, make sure that, they could kind of evaluate it based upon the site conditions. It's my understanding that the commission members went out this past Saturday to view the site, so we're here back again, kind of hopefully summarizing things, kind of coming to a conclusion. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer questions at this point.
Okay, so several members of the commission did meet with Mr. Smith this past Saturday at the site. We had an opportunity to look at the area where the proposed work was going to be done. Everything appeared to be in compliance with the plan and then the notice of intent that was filed with the commission. So I have no questions or comments. I think, again, it was pretty straightforward. It's clear what the intent is of the Water Commission to put in the replacement well. And Mr. Smith explained what was going to be done and the reasons why it needed to be done. Tom, any comments?
No comments.
Okay. Any comments from any other members of the commission who attended the sidewalk? There being none, is there a motion to close?
Make a motion, we close the public hearing?
Is there a second?
I'll second. This is Nathan.
All right, thank you, Nathan. Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, it's a vote. All right, Mr. Morrison, Mr. Smith, thank you for attending. I anticipate that we will issue, or we will prepare the order of conditions this evening. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
Mr. Chairman and board members, on behalf of the Auburn Water District, we appreciate it, and as soon as we receive the order, it will be recorded, and we're prepared to start work as soon as the erosion controls have been established. Hopefully get this well in, get it tested, and get it online soon, so we're ready for the onrush of seasonal increased water demands in the spring. So thanks to the commission, and if there's any questions in the meantime, please feel free to contact me, and I'll do my best to answer your questions.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, and we will if we do. Thank you very much. Okay, then that was the only public hearing we had scheduled for this evening. In the interim, or since I think our meeting, our last meeting, we have received complaints regarding tree cutting. One at 23 Boy Street, which apparently was a complaint issued by DEP. I did not see the email that apparently was attached to the complaint form. And also at 208 South Street. Unfortunately, I actually drove by 23 Boy Street this morning. I could not stop because traffic was actually fairly heavy this morning. And I also did a drive-by of 208 South Street last Saturday, but by that time the rain had changed over to snow, and so I could not stop by to see what the basis was for the complaint. However, these items will be carried over to our next agenda. Our next meeting is going to be on January 13th, and I'm sure one or more of us will go out to the sites and investigate the complaints. With respect to other business, the first item is 6 Commonwealth Avenue. Again, this past Saturday, several members of the commission did have an opportunity to meet with not Scott Morrison, the other guy, from Ecotech. In any event, we walked to the site, having a brain freeze, sorry folks, and we actually did walk the site. The question was whether or not it would be necessary for the applicant to file with the commission. I will suggest to you that based on our site review, that we can expect to receive a request for determination of applicability. I presume that will be on our agenda for the next meeting on January 13th. With respect to, we also received apparently an as-built plan for 132 Prospect Street in connection with a request for a certificate of compliance. We did not have the opportunity to go to the site, but we will do so prior to our next meeting on January 13th. With respect to 498 Rochdale Strait, this is the property where there has been ongoing and continued non-compliance by the property owners with orders of condition, enforcement orders, and also an enforcement action that was issued by DEP. The property owner had started receiving fines last month. Apparently there was some activity conducted by the property owner, and there are pictures that are available on the website. No representative of the owner or the owner themselves has contacted the commission or the town about what they're going to do to bring their property into compliance. The work that's being done at the site, as far as I can determine, is not being supervised by a wetland specialist, so it's not unknown what the owner intends to do. So we will continue to monitor the situation at 498 Rochdale Street. And then, before we issue the order of, or discuss the order of conditions for 74 Walsh Avenue, I believe Mr. Menard has a presentation regarding Sword Street.
Hi, thank you. So the commission...
This is Eileen Corey.
I'm sorry, it's who?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, can you identify yourself, please?
Hi, it's Eileen Corey. So you don't know me yet?
DPW.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Can you repeat that?
You're from DPW?
Adam asked me to attend tonight. He wasn't able. No, so I actually work for DPW. We haven't had a chance to meet yet. I was hired back in February,
Okay.
but because of COVID, it's been sort of an introduction for me. I'm the new civil engineer.
Oh, well,
But I am working with Adam on this 4th Street project, so, yep, go ahead.
okay. I think Adam was going to start his presentation, but it's nice to meet you, and hopefully someday we'll actually meet in person. So go ahead, Adam.
The commission may be,
Yeah,
recall,
I'm hoping to get on your agenda soon because one of my main goals working with DPW is going to be managing the stormwater management program. So I think that Conservation Commission and me are going to be very, very good buds in the near future. But I can talk about the 4th Street project right now. Do you just want me to jump into it?
Well, I think actually Adam was going to start first. So why don't we let Adam make his introductory remarks, and then you can jump in when he's done?
Adam actually wasn't able to attend.
I'm sure.
Actually,
filling in for him tonight.
he's here.
Oh, he is? Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Adam.
it's all right.
I thought you couldn't attend.
No, you were supposed to bring the technical expertise
Okay.
for,
All right. Just tell me when you need me, Dad.
all right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Well, Eilish has the engineering technical expertise that I obviously lack. So the commission may recall, I came a few months ago, or maybe more than a few, about the municipal vulnerability preparedness grants that the town received. I've been working on the Sword Street culverts, trying to develop some kind of replacement for those culverts. What's on your screen is the result of the last grant. It's a conceptual green bridge, which is much better looking than what's there now. But the new grant we received, the next round of grants, we were fortunate enough to receive $215,000 from the state to proceed with this project. This is going to get into more of the technical engineering aspects. Part of the reason we're here tonight is the boring locations, which Eilish is going to discuss shortly. Want to get the Conservation Commission's input. There's some wetland delineation, some other engineering that will be happening at some point. I'm not sure if it's going to happen over the winter or the spring. I think it's kind of weather dependent. So that's the main crux of this next grant. There's also an education piece regarding Leesville Pond. There's the water quality in that pond is impaired, so we're working with Fuss and O'Neill to develop some educational information for not just the Leesville Pond residents in Albany and Worcester, but the public in general. So Eilish, to the chair, Eilish, if you can take it away.
Hi, Eilish. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so like Adam said, this has been an ongoing project, and it's the source of the project, which is the existing culverts that run underneath Sword Street, has been a priority for DPW to replace for quite some time. They're in pretty bad structural condition, so replacement is necessary to prevent something like a collapse from happening. Fuss and O'Neill, who is our engineering consultant, and I see that the project manager, Victoria Cool, is on as well, have hired a boring subcontractor to go out and do 3 borings in the vicinity of the existing culverts. One will be within the existing roadway, and 2 will be immediately adjacent to it. In addition to that, there's going to be additional wetland delineation work, as well as survey. Is there anything else you think I should talk about, Adam, just about why we're doing the project? It was a little hard to hear you when you were giving the opening remarks, so I don't want to repeat anything you already said.
Yeah, I couldn't understand any of that, so anything you can repeat would be great.
Sure. So really the purpose of this project is to replace these culverts that are in bad condition. But one thing we don't want to do is to just go out there and throw in something that doesn't really add anything. Of increasing our resilience for climate change, as well as bringing environmental benefits that could be had by increasing stream flow at this location. So Leesville Pond is immediately downstream of this crossing of Kettle Brook, and it has a impairment for phosphorus. So increasing stream flow, as well as possibly incorporating some more green, like some green elements into our bridge design is something that we've been looking at and want to possibly incorporate into the design. So as we move forward, we're going to be looking at the different hydraulics of installing like a box culvert versus a bridge, and incorporating things like the Massachusetts stream crossing standards to ensure that wildlife are able to go through, and then possibly doing some sort of green element in terms of the materials that we use on the bridge. So the pictures that are being shown here are kind of some of the ideas that we were throwing about, such as using a recycled bench instead of just like a metal one, and possibly doing some sort of green infrastructure, whether that's just restoring the banks to their more natural state, whereas right now they're kind of covered in nuisance and invasive species, or possibly something like a rain garden. So I think really right now what we're talking about is just letting you know about this boring wetland delineation and survey work that we're going to be doing in upcoming weeks. We don't have the grant funding right now to go for further permitting. So although we'll probably need a notice of intent moving forward, that won't be for some time until we identify additional funds to bring the design to a more complete place.
Okay.
I could jump in with just one thing. This is Victoria Willis O'Neill.
Please.
Also, the boring locations that are shown on that plan are located within, wetland resource buffer zones and within the floodplain. And so we also want to get your opinion on whether or not you feel that this can be done without formal permitting through the commission,
Well, I think I'd like to know more.
or if you would like to require something more.
Well, I think I'd like to know more details concerning the boring, specifically the diameter, the depth, and actually what you're boring.
So the borings are probably, I'm kind of guessing, but maybe 6-inch diameter. They're just like the circle boring holes that go through the pavement. The depth is unknown. It will go, ideally they would like to hit bedrock. It is to get soil information and data to support the structural design, to figure out what kind of footing type would be necessary for whichever type of structure would be proposed going forward. Either culvert or a span bridge. They need that geotech information to figure out what is needed to support it structurally.
Okay. So I'm looking at the boring.
The holes will be, when they're done, just patch the pavement.
I'm looking at the boring identified as B3, and it looks like you're going to need to close off that lane of Sword Street at least for some period of time, correct? Or do basically you'll have to guard it so that traffic can go around.
Yes, we're coordinating with the police department to provide maintenance and protection of traffic while the work is being done. All of the work is expected to be done within 2 days, and also, the railroad will be notified of the activities as well as the adjacent property owners.
Okay. So I guess your question then is, do you need to file with us formally, or by virtue of having this introductory meeting, is that sufficient notice for us to give you our permission?
Correct.
Okay, good. I like it when I'm right. Well, I think we're going to have to discuss it amongst the members of the board, to be honest with you. Okay? And then we can advise, in fact, we can let Adam know whether we think a request for determination or even a notice of intent is going to be required. I think it's something that we need to discuss amongst ourselves, and so I cannot and won't give you an answer off the cuff, but I understand what you're trying to do. I understand the limited scope of the work you're doing, and also the limited period of time that's involved as well. So I think those are all factors that we will consider when we make our decision.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Is there anything else?
No.
Well, thank you for participating in the meeting. I think I'm looking at the conceptual design. It certainly will be more attractive than what's out there now. And obviously, as you indicated, this will result hopefully in a substantial improvement to water quality as well as the aesthetics for that area. So again, thank you for joining us this evening, and we will be in touch.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
Have a
welcome.
good night.
You too. All right. So we have an order of conditions to prepare for 74 Walsh Avenue. Is there a motion?
Make a motion that we issue a standard order plus the following special conditions, numbers 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 9, and 11.
Okay. Is there a second? Okay, that was Patrick and he seconds, okay. Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All right, it's a vote. And then, is there any new business?
Nothing has come in.
Okay. Hi, Ginger, how are you?
Good, how are you, sir?
I'm fine, thanks. Okay, if there is no new business, then is there a motion to adjourn?
Well, can we talk about the Sword Street for a minute?
Oh, I'm sorry. Sure, absolutely. Pardon me. So, Allison, what are your thoughts?
Well, I would think it would fall under the exemption that sort of assessment would be allowed. And I think, those borings, they're in the street, so they're really not going to create too much disturbance that they can't just patch right back up. I do that work all the time.
Okay.
And as long as, they put up erosion control, which I'm sure they will, I don't have a problem with it. I think it's a good project, obviously.
Okay.
Any improvement to that area would be amazing.
Well, and I think they certainly do have, they need to do it because, they're concerned about the integrity of the bridge and the culverts there, so I think you're absolutely right. Any other comments from any members of the board? Okay, so, so procedurally, I'm trying to think how we go about doing this. I mean, I guess, and I actually, Allison, to be clear, I tend to agree with you. I think it's not overly invasive. I think it's a limited impact. It's a limited duration of time. Perhaps maybe a letter can be just sent to Mr. Menard indicating that there won't be a need to file formally with the commission. So if that is, if someone would like to make a motion to that effect, please do so.
So moved. This is Allison.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
That's Tom. Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, it's a vote. All right. Thank you, everyone. And finally, if there is no new business, is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion, we adjourn the public hearing.
You mean the meeting?
The meeting?
Yes. Is there a second? Okay, is there any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
All right. All right, everyone, we're adjourned. I want to thank you all for putting up with what has been an extraordinary year of remote hearings, and I think we're finally getting the hang of it, and so I want to thank you for your dedication to this, and please enjoy the holidays, be safe, practice social distancing, wear masks, you know the drill, and we will see you on January 13th. Good night.